The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio.
Coming up on the program, we're going to talk about fake AI information in the gardening world, as well as summer lawn maintenance. Our guest is Stacy Ling will be with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. The hour's full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. I'm your host, Joey Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, vegetables as well, plus preserving what you grow. Happy to have you along, whether you're tuning in on one of the 20 AM and FM frequencies, broadcasting our program here in 2025, through our radio app, through our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season Radio 9 tab at the top of the page, or if you're tuning in via podcast replay or in-studio video replay on our YouTube channel, you can. We certainly appreciate that. There's a couple of ways in which you can interact with us if you want to be part of the program. GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. That's GardenTalkRadio@gmail.com. Or give us a call, toll-free, coast to coast, at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Before we get in the program, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
What is the friendliest vegetable to animals?
Friendliest vegetable to animals. There's got to be a catch here somewhere.
Well, obviously, it's a joke.
I know it's a joke, yeah. Wait.
It's a zucchini.
It's because of the zoo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. Was that not the best joke?
I don't
They're all
know.
kind of, This week's garden joke is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family home and yard protected from pest insects like wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
It's a sad truth nowadays, but it seems like anything you see online is too good to be true. And that holds true to the gardening world now. Whenever we've been doing this for, if you're new to the program, this is our we're at 9.5 years doing this, 35 weeks a year, multiple stations across the United States. And we have a responsibility to you, the listeners, to you, the viewers, that we need to make sure what we are talking about is accurate, correct, so we can give you the best information so you don't take some incorrect information, utilize it, and then find out it doesn't work. There are, and I've talked about this a couple of times, there are people in this industry that's doing what we do, telling you, helping you grow a garden, giving you wrong information. Incorrect information about blossom end rot to Epsom salt and everything in between. And they also, anyway. So AI.
But let's talk about AI because
it's a phenomenal tool if used correctly for certain applications.
Yes, it is. However, sometimes it's not the most accurate either because when you do a search, a lot of times it's picking information quickly.
The best it knows how.
Yeah, the best it knows how. So you might look up, are all tomatoes green? And it might find a few articles saying that there are green tomatoes, and it might come back and say, yes, all tomatoes are green.
There are some varieties of tomatoes that do not ripen.
Right,
yeah.
But that's not all tomatoes.
It's giving you incorrect. Yes. It's giving you incorrect information with the information it was able to find, though that information was partially true.
So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt.
You got to be aware of this.
You got to be aware.
This is hurting the gardening industry and especially garden centers. And we see this on our social media platforms where people will see a plant and go, I want that plant. And it's some unbelievably out of the world, doesn't exist plant. I'm able to pick it up very quickly and know that it's fake. But garden centers are getting bombarded by people bringing in screenshots going, I want to grow this plant. And they are informed that it is an AI and it doesn't exist. You want to be aware if you see something that's too good to be true, there's ways of reversing image checking on it. And there are certain people whoever they are, whatever they are, if it's computer, whatever, that specifically do this to create havoc in garden groups online in certain areas where you will do a reverse image search and it's been posted like 35 times across multiple social media platforms.
Right. So let's talk about a couple things to know if it's real or not. One is there a botanical name? So if it's something like you see, I don't know, a purple rose, that might be a thing. A rainbow rose, right?
Yeah.
Is there a botanical name for that particular plant? And if there's not, you can't find anything, because every seed that you buy on like a reputable seed website, it will have typically some sort of information, whether it be the botanical name or the variety. It's not going to just be like...
Oh, and also it doesn't have... on these fake sites, rare, 10 left in the world. There's 5 reviews. They're all 5 stars, and it all says, great plant, will buy again.
Right, yeah. So there's one thing is the botanical name.
Images.
Images.
The soft, blurry background that often indicates they were made by AI. It's not crisp. It's not like you would take a picture in the garden. There's a very distinct... pattern of imagery that is depicted that I can pick out, and some people can, where that is strictly 100% AI. And here's the other thing. If we're talking about AI, we see these images on social media where it's a young couple, 1954, and now it's 2025 and they're old couple. And it's like the same image, but it's just kind of morphed a little bit. And it's totally, and people are just sharing it like, oh, it's such a great love story. It's like they believe it's really true.
I mean, it could be a true love story, but it might not be those people.
Yeah.
Another thing is like sometimes if you're looking at something and the words under the picture or in this description don't really make sense. Like, for example, there could be a seed scam and it says resistant to poverty, as opposed to like what you would normally look for in a seed, like resistant to drought. It's clearly AI, because AI is, again, grabbing
and
words.
Translating from where the original language was.
Kind of putting those words together. Whatever.
And just like the scam emails from a certain, like, let's say a bank, they change one letter and invert it from an A to an E and switch them back and forth, and you just think it's the same, and you respond to it, and then they've got all your information because they've scooped the information from you.
Right. And then another one to mention is that if they're selling seeds or plants and it says we can ship anywhere in the world, that's not true. They cannot. Sometimes you need permits.
Customs will lock that. Yeah.
Customs, whatever. You can't. You might be able to ship now. If you might find like gardening gloves that can be shipped anywhere.
But these are plants.
Yeah, but
plants are seeds.
Yeah.
If there is not a number on the website, an email, contact us. It's got a form, it's got an 800 number, a toll-free number, or a number, or it's got a contact information, and you look it up, and it matches that website, and say, oh, it's in Randolph, Wisconsin. Oh, jungseed.com.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a legit website. I can call somebody, and somebody picks up on the other end, and this is not discriminatory, but you can understand them clear, and they're not hiding something. It's a legit website. Be aware about Amazon. Etsy, not so much. I think Etsy is a little more safer, but Amazon, anybody can put anything on there, and you're going to get sand or pieces of glass. It's buyer beware.
Yes, definitely. So let's talk about some resources that you can use for good information. One would be your local university extension or any university extension. A lot of times when I'm looking up a solution for issues, I will search like blah, 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 university extension.
And that ends with .edu, does it not?
Yeah, but I would just, like when the search bar, I just put,
university extension, tomato blossom
leaf curl, university extension. And that way it's going to give me those answers, because those are funded to give you the correct answers. Those are experts that they hire. Keywords. And that way, you're getting good information. Now, just because if you search something and it pulls up, your stay-at-home mom friend's blog or whatever, doesn't mean that she has bad information or she has AI or something like that. She has good search engine optimization, and then that's good for her because she's getting a lot of clicks on her website. So you want to just take this with a grain of salt. If it looks, because I know like certain search engines will put together AI results, then you want to scroll past that and then go to the actual information that is there.
And here's a better one. It was always, and I don't know if it's still the same, I'm sure it is, in the media broadcasting profession, you have to have 3 sources in order to confirm that the information you have is correct. Same thing can hold true. You can search Blossom Inrod and pull up, university, pull up our information on our YouTube channel or our website, pull up another one, Joe Lampo's website. And if all 3 of them match or 2 of the 3 matches, then you go, okay, I'm going to go with the 2 out of the 3. The other one's off. It's just, totally off the rocker on that one. Doesn't make any sense. Verify. Just don't go with, oh, that's the first one. Let's go with it. And then disaster strikes in your garden and you're mad about stuff.
You're mad about your non-rainbow roses? You want all green tomatoes?
Because that website and that email doesn't exist anymore because they sold the 10 fake ones and they shut down the system and they got your information. And this was a thing a couple of years ago, and it probably still holds true, that these fake websites that selling the fake seeds or the scam seeds, you're paying with some type of electronic mechanism, credit card, debit card. You're giving them that information in order for you to get that purchase, and then now they've shut down their system because they've sold what they need, and now they've got your information and have the capabilities of hacking.
If they don't have unless it's a very small business, which you can tell.
Yeah.
If they don't have like a PayPal, Apple Pay, third party Pay,
multiple
Google Pay, whatever it's called.
We only accept this. We only accept credit cards. That's it. Okay, well we're going to go elsewhere.
It's kind of, I mean, obviously, again, if it's like an author who's selling a book and they only accept credit cards.
You guys got to use common sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Well, also by using common sense, you can get some good deals at waltonsinc.com.
Yeah, we know you care about where your food comes from, your seeds, etc. But what about the meat? At Walton's, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. You want to make snack sticks that people will actually like? Walton's created meatjuststicks.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. And they have their full line of sausage stuffer, meat grinders, and more to help you go from animal to edible. You can use code GROW50, that's GROW50, to save 10% off orders of $50 or more at waltonsinc.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.
Hang out with us when we return. It's going to be summer yard maintenance projects there. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Mantis garden tiller cultivators are the perfect solution for any garden. With their gas-powered 2-cycle or 4-cycle engine, these powerful machines can till 9 or 16 inches of land without you breaking a sweat. And it doesn't stop there. Mantis's optional attachments allow you to aerate, plow, and more with the snap of a finger. Engineered with durability in mind, Mantis tiller cultivators will be your guaranteed garden companion for a long time. You can find more out and details at mantis.com. The Shore and Shore utility cart is designed to help you with your projects around the yard and get your garden work done with ease. With a load capacity of 400 pounds, telescoping sides, the ability to use as a flat bed, and the option to pull it behind your bicycle. This cart is ideal for use around the garden, yard, lake, beach, park, and more. In short, the Shore and Shore is the most versatile cart in the market. Check us out at shoreandshore.com and get yours today.
A non-selective herbicide that is also USDA Bio-Preferred certified? You bet. Say goodbye to Roundup and hello to No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. No More Weeds kills weeds with no harsh chemicals and no glyphosate. Safe around pets, No More Weeds has a proprietary sticking agent to use around gardens, pools, decks, patios, anywhere there are weeds. Available online at natgreenproducts.com, Amazon, and Walmart.com, Order yours today. The same great company that brings you no more bugs. Totally Tomato is a family-owned and operated gardening company with the largest selection of tomatoes online. Use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at totallytomato.com. That's code 15TG25.
One Sweet Earth makes the last garden bed you'll ever need. Strong, simple, sustainable. One Sweet Earth beds slide together in minutes. No tools, no rot, no junk. Durable, non-toxic, woman-owned, made in the USA. Visit onesweetearth.com.
Good garden tools make gardening easier. Wisconsin-made Cobra head tools simplify weeding, cultivating, digging, and planting. Favorites of professional gardeners, Cobra head tools are durable, ergonomic, and easy to work with. Visit cobrahead.com and use coupon code SOIL for 10% off your order. David J. Frank, Southeastern Wisconsin's leading landscape company, is a landscaper you need. Their award-winning services include everything from lawn care, landscape maintenance, design, construction, renovation, irrigation, sustainability, and more. Big or small, let the experts at David J. Frank handle the hard work for you. Find out more at davidjfrank.com.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Want to find out more information about those companies, those coupon codes, all of that can be found at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page, as well as the Money tab. Summer garden maintenance, Holly, is something that if you lawn maintenance, yard, lawn. If you want a pristine lawn, you want it to look good, this is a segment for you.
Yeah, so summer heat can take a toll on your grass, your lawn, your yard, etc.
I'm sure there's a difference between lawn and yard.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe lawn is like just that you have there, and then yard is like a utilized thing, you know? So like you might have a yard, and then you have like a fire pit and a little sitting area, and then the kids play croquet.
Well, I've got an answer for you.
Okay.
In America English, a yard generally refers to the entire outdoor area surrounding the house, while a lawn specifically refers to an area of grass within that yard.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that's according to a Reddit thread, so take that for how much you want.
I feel like yard is like an area where you
can go down this rabbit hole.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you want to make sure you're mowing at the right height. Taller grass will shade your soil, and that reduces water evaporation. Shorter grass,
as well as it would choke out weeds too.
Yes. Shorter grass doesn't allow for the bugs to do their thing that you want. So because they help the ecosystem. So if you cut it too short, that's not good. Obviously, too tall means that a lot of times, especially into the thick of the summer, you get more mosquitoes. So that is why you want to make sure you're mowing at the right height.
Based on your grass, between 2 and 3.5 inches. So you're based on what kind of grass you have, it varies, and you want to mulch that. You don't want to pick up, we'll get in that, let the clippings lie. If you're mowing your grass at the right height, you can let your clippings fall between the grasses, and then it will break down and feed the soil and save money on fertilizer.
There we go. So you want to water properly. So you want to make sure that you water your lawn deeply and infrequently. Obviously, if you have a lot of rain, you can't control that. But this is something that I think, from what I understand, people don't always, they might water too much.
Yeah. There are certain ways in which you can set up your in-ground watering system and then figure out how much you need to apply. There's different type of mechanisms now in order to sync up with a weather app or a digital thermometer that will adjust for the adequate amount or no water particular time of application. So you want to do that as well. And if you're going to do an in-ground pop-up head system like we see in many municipalities, many HOAs, have the thing make sure it gets on the lawn and not the sidewalk or the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can drive down any neighborhood in America during the summer, and you can pick out 3 or 4 houses where there's more water going on the street and the sidewalk than on the grass.
Right. I mean, even businesses, you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
and whether it's a downpour, a deluge, them things are still going.
Right. There's a business by us that I think for a while had the what's it called, the sprinkler going half in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's silly, and I think it would go off when it rained too.
Well, yeah, and it used to be the one across from where the studio is here. It would go. It would water like at 10 o'clock at night because you'd hear it, and now they don't do that anymore for whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it was. That was the weird thing. So you want to make sure you're watering properly, mindfully. If there is a not water ban, what do they call it? Restriction. Then you have to, pay attention to that. I personally don't get excited about lawns. So I'm like, it's whatever. But some people really take pride in their lawns, and that's fair. And to each our own, right? So you want to treat for grubs like Japanese beetles. They lay eggs in the grass early to midsummer, and then those grubs will cause problems. I think they
lay eggs, the larvae, and then you got the Japanese beetles.
Yeah. So we can talk about one thing that would help them is Phylum Bio products. They have a granular, what's it called, that you spread around, and that helps with the grubs and the Japanese beetles and the June bugs and all that. So yeah, you want to make sure that you are doing something to treat for that, especially if you are very serious about your lawn. It will help prevent those insects, pests, whatever you want to call them, from laying those eggs and causing further damage and devastation to your hard-earned, hard-worked lawn.
And whether you seeded your lawn or you brought sod in, doing these steps can help pristine and keep the lawn pretty, because there is some people that they don't let people walk on their lawn. They mow it in specific patterns so it stays, like a baseball field.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that people don't think about this. If you utilize your lawn for, your kids or yourself or whatever, walking on it does cause compaction. And that brings up not parking on it, not driving on it, which probably seems silly, but you never know. You might have a party and you're like, oh yeah, just park on the lawn, whatever. If you park on the lawn, it does cause that compaction, and that could, could kill off the grass. And even in drought times, it's something to stay off the lawn because it can add to the compaction. When it's a drought, the lawn doesn't die, it goes dormant. So just keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know that. Another thing is to clean up after your dog. Your dog can cause dead spots on the lawn. So if you are concerned about that, you can dilute the urine in the soil. You can flush it with water or spray water. Another thing you can do is you can make a mulch or pebbled area to use for your dog so that they can have, or just block off an area. Like some people have dog runs. Or
it's like
is that what they're called?
I don't know what it is. Is it like a chicken run where there's a designated area for the dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a fenced off area just for their dog.
Okay.
To do their business.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if I had a dog, I'd be like, whatever. But that's me.
Well, you got to pick the stuff up, otherwise you can't go in the yard.
No, but I'm saying I wouldn't have a designated area for my dog.
Well, the reason why is because the urine will stain and kill the grass. That's why you don't want to have it in a certain area. That's what the yellowing areas are.
Right. Yeah, no, and that makes sense. I just saying that, I wouldn't be that particular about my lawn. That's just me. But anyway, you might be. So if you do have a dog and you're concerned about your grass getting yellow, you can give them a spot, their own designated spot, or you can dilute the urine with water. You flush the water. Or you can make a little specific dog park mulch, pebbled, whatever area. Some dogs won't go on not the grass or a pebbled area, so your mileage may vary with that. Make sure your mower blade is sharp.
Yes.
Yeah, so dull mower blade can cause tearing of the grass It will make the grass ragged, have brown edges. It'll sometimes pull the grass up. You don't want that either.
Yeah, it'll gnaw it. Just like you have a dull knife or anything, sharpening the blades, whether you do it yourself with an angle grinder or you take it somewhere and have it done professionally, will not only make the grass cut cleaner, it will make the grass healthier, and the efficiency of the unit will work better, whether it's a push lawnmower, whether it is a push battery, a riding lawnmower, or the old, the non-motorized, I don't forget what it's not a sickle lawnmower. You know what I'm talking about?
Non-motorized.
Yeah, that's the one that has the thing that spins.
Yeah.
Those
have blades on them too.
And you got to sharpen. Yeah. Now you can aerate your lawn. That helps with compaction. That helps getting fertilizer in the ground if needed. The best time to aerate your lawn depends on the type of grass you have. So if you know what you got, then this is easy. If you've just moved in and whatever's growing, like on the farm, we just mowed it and that was into it. There was the pristine level of the lawn was not a key importance on the farm. For cool season grasses like Kentucky bluegrass or fescue or perennial ryegrass, the optimal time is early spring or early fall. Now, aeration is whenever you purchase a machine that pulls little plugs of soil. It goes down 3-4 inches. It pulls a plug out and throws it up on top of the surface of the lawn. For warm season grasses like Bermuda grass, you should aerate in late spring or early summer. It's generally the best to aerate for those. And the plugs, based on if you do it yourself or a landscaper comes in and does it, the plugs can stay there and they'll work back in the soil. You can fertilize, you can water. It's a whole thing. But also there's a level of thatching, which is removing the dead vegetation that's on top of the soil.
Let's talk about aerating.
Yes.
What does aerating do?
It allows...
I know they remove chunks, right? They remove chunks like little cylinder size.
Right.
I think like 1 inch to 2 inches deep. They remove the chunks of the soil. So a lot of people feel that aerating does what?
It improves air, water, and nutrient flow to the roots of the grasses.
That makes sense. Okay. I don't know if people know that or not, so that's why I mentioned that. Another thing you can do is to pick up the litter, which not literal litter, but I mean maybe you do have litter in your yard. I don't know. People might drive
pesky
by.
Neighbor kids.
Yeah. But things like whether it be toys, water games, lawn chairs, tools.
Meaning laying there for days or weeks on end, and then killing the grass underneath.
Basically, yeah. That's what happens. Is that say you have. You don't have a designated area and you leave whatever it may be out there, it is going to smother the grass.
On the farm, we would do that on a big patch of weeds. We'd throw a big board down or we'd throw some debris on it to kill the grass.
So it's like the opposite.
The opposite effect, yeah.
Yeah. But I think people don't think about that, how that can have an impact.
Oh, I'll get it tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next month, and you're like, oh, the grass is like dead here.
Yeah.
And you've got this outline of a chair, like a person that has a bikini on. It's just a straight.
Or it might be the kids' like water play table or something, and you might leave it in one area. But if you're trying to improve your lawn, you might not want to do that.
And we'll close on this note. We talked about picking the dog's droppings up and all that. Don't be the person that goes and walks your dog and the dog decides to go in somebody's yard and then you just scurry away and let the debris stay in the lawn. Don't be that person.
Yeah, you really should not be that person.
That's why people don't like you.
Exactly.
Well, Holly, summer is in full swing and we're not going back. Those Japanese beetles are going to be wreaking havoc, if not already. We talked about that, what's in your lawn, the larvae, and you can cure that issue with Phylum bioproducts.
If you're looking to successfully control beetles without damaging the environment, look no further than Beetle Gone from Phylum Bioproducts. Derived from a naturally occurring soil bacteria, Beetle Gone is the only organic solution that successfully controls beetle invaders. Just mix the powder with water and spray it on your plants. Once ingested, the targeted pests will stop feeding and die. And since it's an organic BT product, it's a great choice to use on your fruits and veggies in addition to your ornamental flowers and trees.
Not only does Beetle Gone work What the best part about the product is, it is safe to be used around beneficial insects like ladybugs, bees, and butterflies, and has no water toxicity. That's BeetleGone.com from the parent company PhylumBioproducts.com. Again, BeetleGone.com. Hang out with us when we return. Master Gardener Stacy Ling will be with us. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Azure Standard is America's premier family-owned online store for organic foods and healthy products for your home and garden. They deliver directly to families and commercial customers through over 3,500 drop points across all 50 states. Azure Standard strives to make grocery shopping easy, bringing all your needs to one convenient pickup location. As a trusted national health food distributor, Azure Standard offers bulk and specialty health foods to communities nationwide. With over 12,000 products, each one is approved and carefully sampled to ensure the highest quality. Azure Standard holds firm to non-GMO, organic, and natural standards. From food and beauty products to household items, nutritional supplements, animal care, hobby supplies, and even garden essentials, Azure Standard truly has everything for your daily living. Visit AzureStandard.com. That's AZURE Standard.com. Use promo code Joey and Holly 15 at checkout to get 15% off for new customers who open an account for the first time and place a minimum order of $100 or more, shipped to a drop location of your choice. That's code Joey and Holly 15 at AzureStandard.com. Azure Standard is AZURE Standard.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at jungseed.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to save 15% off your order at jungseed.com.
R.H. Shumway is a family-owned and operated gardening company with a large selection of seeds and plants online. You can use code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at rhshumway.com. That's code 15TG25. Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit, go to mysoilsavvy.com.
Have insects such as aphids or fungal gnats invaded your plants? Fight back with Summit Year-Round Spray Oil and Summit Mosquito Bits. Organic Summit Year-Round Spray Oil kills insect pests on indoor and outdoor plants. All natural mosquito bits kill fungal gnats larvae in container plants. Both products are harmless to people, plants, and wildlife. Summit Year-Round Spray Oil and Summit Mosquito Bit are available at garden centers, hardware stores, and at SummitResponsibleSolutions.com. Save your back. Easily and quickly remove trees and shrubs from your property with the Weed Wrench. Find it at weed-wrench.com. Made in the USA. Use coupon code WEED to save $10 off your Weed Wrench at weed-wrench.com.
Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Thank you for being with us today, allowing us to be part of your day just for a little bit. Want more information about those companies, those coupon codes? Our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page, or the Money tab. Holly, let's go to the hotline and bring in our guest for this week.
Stacy Ling is a master gardener, has been gardening for over 25 years, an author and a blogger. She is the creator of Bricks and Blooms, and her recent book, The Bricks and Blooms Beautiful and Easy Care Flower Garden Planner, came out a couple months ago. Welcome to the program, Stacy.
Thanks so much for having me. It's so great to meet you both.
Well, absolutely. We're happy to have you on the program. And Holly said that you've been gardening for 25 years. How did you get into gardening? Was it something that was instilled in you as a child, or you found later on in life and said, hey, this is something pretty neat?
I found it later on in life, and it's actually an interesting story because my husband and I were newly married. We were living in a small condominium in suburban New Jersey, and my neighbor, who had a townhome, I don't know if you're familiar with townhomes and like how much property they have, but they really don't have much.
Right.
And she gardened in very small spaces there, and she did so much with it. And I remember her growing these beautiful Globemaster alliums and a few other really pretty flowers. And I just thought to myself, you know what? That is so cool. I really want to learn how to do that. And I was in my second year of law school at the time. I had no experience with gardening whatsoever, but those gorgeous flowers just like struck me, and it just had me right then and there.
Yeah, if you wait for everything to be perfect, you never get anything done.
Exactly. I just started asking her questions, and I started with houseplants, and I killed them all. Unfortunately, my first go with gardening was not very successful, but she guided me into trying impatiens in a very small area outside of our front door. I found some success with that, and then once they bloomed, I was like, I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm a gardener now. We need to get some property. And so we moved, and our family home of 23 years, we had half an acre, and I completely built that property out with garden after garden after garden, because it just really started to consume me, and I just, was digging and dividing plants, and
it's addictive.
Eventually, yes, it really is. And it's so, relaxing and therapeutic, and I just love it.
Now, when you lived in the condominium, did you have a light issue where you had to move the plants at a certain time of day to get more light, or how did she instruct you on that?
She basically told me, since I had a really bad experience with my houseplants, she said, she assessed the light situation where I could plant, and we determined it was shady, and she was like, start with impatiens and just do that. And I didn't really have access to a great water source. So even going out and watering, I had to go out with a watering can, because we didn't have a hose or anything. So I had to bring, a watering can down from our unit and come down and water the flowers. So
old school.
Yes, very old school.
And now
I still loved it anyway.
And now you have a half acre, and you kind of wish you had 2 or 3 acres.
Well, no. Well, we moved from there because we built out so much. I looked at my husband a couple of years ago, late 21, as a matter of fact, and I said, I found a place. So where we are now, it's 10 acres.
Oh my.
Yeah, 5 of it's wooded, and then the other 5 are all these really cool garden spaces and garden rooms. So I've got a Zen garden, a potager, formal garden. It's really fabulous. The bones were here when we moved in, and I've just been putting my floral spin on everything. It's been amazing.
Now, I know people are listening and going, 5 acres of woods. What about the animals? What about the deer or the rabbits or the squirrels?
Oh, they are definitely challenging. Deer, we have a lot of them. My property has a good herd. I do have to do a lot of deer-resistant plantings, and whatever I don't do deer-resistant plantings, I use a repellent, and that works very well. It's very effective. As long as my way of doing it though, and this is really key. So let's say we're talking about something like tulips that they love. So the moment those tulips break ground, I will start spraying them, and then they'll grow maybe a third. I'll spray them again. They'll grow a little bit more. I'll spray them again. And then when they get their flower head, I spray it again. And then when it blooms, I spray it.'s like a lot of work, but if you want to grow stuff with wildlife, unfortunately, you kind of have to adapt.
Yeah, definitely. I think that speaks to a lot of people don't believe that, deer repellent sprays don't work, but I think it's about how you use them and being aware, for sure.
Yeah, I use them on my hydrangeas, on my roses, and the same thing. As soon as the plant leaves out, I start spraying. And then I don't go longer than a month, because, with rain and things like that, I don't want it to wear off. And anytime I get complacent, that's when I start seeing the nibbles. My latest challenge, though, is rabbits. Rabbits have been the bane of my existence the last year, but there's even repellents that work well with them, too.
Fantastic. So a lot of people don't know what cottagecore design concept is, or the look of cottagecore. What is it, and why do you think it's become so popular?
So I think especially in today's society where it's this high-paced, high-tech, and everything's like immediate, it's so great to kind of slow down and like I think it's due to a yearning for a simpler life. And so with that, we want like a deeper connection with nature. Maybe we're growing more houseplants, flowers, things with rustic charm. You'll see like a lot of baskets and, different types of textures and stuff, instead of something being like really cold, sleek, and modern. Like I definitely think there's a space for that, but I think more people are really starting to lean into that more natural, organic aesthetic.
Kind of like the years of our childhood where things were a simpler time, or at least we thought it was.
Yes. I mean, really, like, think about it. It's such a high-paced world we live in now, and everybody's so stressed and feeling so anxious. I think it's only natural to, really kind of yearn for things to be a lot simpler. And so finding yourself in gardening or growing a plant is really rewarding, or like to coddle a seedling, to get it to grow and produce, whether it's a flower or, broccoli that you're growing in your garden. Like, that's super cool.
Definitely.
Very, very simplistic, very rootsy about, I'm this person in this big galaxy, and this is what I've able to accomplish, and I'm eating what I grew.
Yes.
I think a lot of people also think of cottagecore as like a fashion thing, and it takes away from the just like growing something or baking your own bread or whatever it may be. So it's good to kind of to focus on the plant part or the actual, I guess, duty of it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's like I almost call it garden style. Like it's this garden style of that's kind of been my aesthetic. And so, interestingly, cottagecore, really embodies that, right? I mean, it's all, like you said, you're baking bread and it's, things that you're doing with your hand. Maybe you're crocheting, maybe you're knitting, maybe you're making things. It's just a great way to like slow it down and, like a simpler way of living instead of just having your face in your phone and being on your computer, 24/7, which, many of us do, right? I mean, especially, certain careers and like our children are being raised on, phones and computers and stuff like that. So it's just like a much different time.
Well, tell us about your new book, The Bricks and Blooms, Beautiful and Easy Care Flower Garden. What is in it? Or garden planner, my apologies. What is in it? What can our listeners expect to pick up a copy of that?
So the planner is basically a comprehensive workbook that will walk you through the whole process of garden design from start to finish. It's going to help you take the guesswork out of planning and help you create a low maintenance garden that thrives without demanding all of your time. And one of the things that I really love about a planner is it's a great place to kind of record all the things down about your garden, and it will help you plant something that is, for lack of a better word, easy to grow, low maintenance. You can remember all the things that like you would forget. For example, like that I can't tell you how many times I've bought a plant and then like I'm going to remember what the variety is. I will remember what that is. I will remember. And like 2 weeks later, I couldn't tell you what it is. So like, that's a great way to put that in your planner. But the other good thing about a planner too, is that it's a great place to, like keep a history of your garden that you can not only look back and reflect on yourself and learn from, but your children and grandchildren can learn from the trials and tribulations of your own garden. And it could also be passed down to the next steward of your garden. Like if you go and move and you want to help the new homeowner along, you can kind of give them this manifesto, if you will, to your garden and how it grows.
Yeah, a little diary of what is going on and how to do it. And the nice thing about it, it's on paper. It's not on a digital platform where if something goes wrong, you've lost it. You've got that book. You've got it right there with you.
Yes, and my planner has some cheat sheets and garden design. So it's not just like a bunch of empty workbook pages. There's guides of what to do month to month, just like some garden design ideas, deer resistant planting ideas, things like that. That goes a little bit deeper than just like an empty workbook that you fill in. But it will definitely be a great tool to have in your garden tool belt to help you grow the garden of your dreams.
Well, please tell us more about your blog.
So my blog, I have been blogging since 2018, and I started it when my oldest daughter started college. I had always kind of thought maybe it's something that I wanted to do because blogging has been a thing for a long time now. And when she left for college, I kind of just like looked at my husband and I just like wanted to have another purpose. And so the reason I started my blog was because I wanted to reach people like me, my friends, family that have always mentioned to me they didn't know how to grow things and they, unalive all kinds of plants. And so I wanted to be a good resource, like your biggest cheerleader, to teach you how to do it and enjoy it as much as I do. So that's one of the reasons why I started it and when I started it. And then since then, I rolled that into social media, and then I wrote books and started a YouTube channel, and it's really been a lot of fun. I love it. I love being able to do this. It's so rewarding, and just to be able to do something that you're passionate about and earn an income from it is truly a blessing.
And then going back, 5 or 6 years and going, oh, that's what I was doing at that point. That's what you just said, we all don't remember what we did last week.
Yes.
So it's a great way to kind of relive. Oh yeah, I remember that now.
And it's a great way to kind of, a lot of times we're like, oh, you kind of get, you see more of the negative things, but then you look back and you're like, wow, look at how far I've come. Like, I've come a long way from when we first moved here, for example, to, the spaces have changed dramatically since we moved in, and looking back to 2022 to now is really incredible when you see everything that I've done to change things. So it's been great. It's almost like another planner.
Mm-hmm. And the thing I always remind people, and I remind myself, I want everything done now, but I know I can't get it done. It's a 3 or 4 or 5 year plan. It's not a get it done by tomorrow at noon. It takes time.
Yes. And when we moved here, I said to my husband, I'm like, we are going to be here for 5 to 10 years because I've got a lot that I want to do and I want to see it come to fruition and grow. And some plants, I remember back in my old garden, I planted a climbing hydrangea. That plant did not bloom for a good several years. It was developing that root system, but wow, once it did, it was gorgeous.
Fantastic. So you like to freeze tomatoes versus canning them. Why is that? And then what do you do with them once they thaw?
So to me, freezing them is way easier than canning. It's much less of a process. It doesn't take as long. And I like to freeze any tomatoes that I'm not going to be using in the moment. And I thaw them out, just, put them in the refrigerator or take them out. And then I just drop them in a soup or a stew or a salsa or something. And then you just have those fresh flavors from your garden in the middle of winter. It's great.
Yeah, we've everybody has their own specific method there, and yours is freezing, and it works out very, very well.
So do you chop them ahead of time, or do you chop them once you thaw them?
I kind of rough chop them, and then I'll chop them more when they're thawed.
So the skin,
but they do have a mushier consistency after they thaw. The consistency definitely changes a little bit, but that's why it's good for a soup or a stew or salsa or something like that.
And the skins don't get rubbery after you freeze them?
I take the skins off before freezing.
Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, Stacy, we greatly appreciate your time. How can people find out more about you? How can they find your blog? How can they find your book?
So you can find my blog at stacyling.com. I know that does not sound very fun, like my handle, Bricks and Blooms, but when I was going to start my blog, I was like, you just have to start. And I was getting tripped up on the name. So I was like, stacyling.com it is. So that's how you can find my blog. My social media handles are all Bricks and Blooms, Bricks with the N, Blooms. And then my books are all available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, Target, Walmart. You can find them anywhere.
Well, Stacy, we certainly appreciate the time and the information you provided for Holly, myself, and all of our listeners. We thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. And when we return, it's your garden questions and our garden answers. This is the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
4-Jar Canning Supply, your one-stop shop for all your canning needs, where old ways meet new in every jar. They are a family with decades of home canning experience, offering top-quality products and outstanding service. Never run out of canning lids again. Whether you're a seasoned canner or just starting out, their extensive range of canning products will elevate your canning game. 4jars.com. Inspired by the homemade preserves of our childhoods, they want to share that same joy with you. They deeply care about your family's health and understand the importance of homemade, nutritious meals. That's why they offer high-quality products to help you preserve your food. Quality canning lids, pressure canners, vacuum seal machines, and all the tools you need to get the job done. 4Jars has you covered. Our canning lids provide the perfect airtight seal for any regular, wide, or gem-sized jar. With the thickest lids on the market, they provide long-lasting freshness, up to 18 months, and are rust-resistant, ensuring your preserves stay secure. Use code 4jars25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars.com. That's FORJARS25 to save 10% off your order at 4jars, FORJARS.com. Check out ivorganics.com. It's America's leading garden product YouTube channel. IV Organic products are innovative, organic, effective, and proudly USA made to help you achieve your best growing season. Use coupon code RADIO10 at checkout and save 10% on your entire order at ivorganics.com. That coupon code again is RADIO10 to save 10% on your order at ivorganics.com. The Shore and Shore utility cart is designed to help you with your projects around the yard and get your garden work done with ease. With a load capacity of 400 pounds, telescoping sides, the ability to use as a flat bed, and the option to pull it behind your bicycle, this cart is ideal for use around the garden, yard, lake, beach, park, and more. In short, the Shore and Shore is the most versatile cart in the market. Check us out at shoreandshore.com and get yours today. If you could double the life of your raised bed boxes by sealing the wood with a clear non-toxic wood preservative, would you? Well, now you can with a clear, penetrating product called Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's 100% non-toxic and easy to apply. Seal your untreated wood surfaces, even chicken coops, by spraying on Internal Wood Stabilizer. It's invisible, seals the wood from the inside out, and never wears off. Recommended by organic gardening experts. Internal Wood Stabilizer. Check it out at timberprocoatingsusa.com. Vermont Bean Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company with the largest selection of seeds online. Use coupon code 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com. That coupon code is 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at vermontbean.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. Miss any of those coupon codes? Want to find out more information about those companies? The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.com underneath the Season 9 tab. and the Money tab at the top of the page. Time for your garden questions, our garden answers. Send them on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or toll free 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
So I'm growing 44 determinate Romas. They're already flowering. They're only about 2 feet tall. I'm hearing that you should pinch the flowers to let them get bigger before they bear fruit. I see a lot of conflicting information online. I just don't want to do this wrong with so many plants. It's concerning.
So this person's got determinate tomatoes, 2 foot tall. They're blossoming. They're blooming. And this individual feels that the plants are too short and needs to be taller before the fruit should be being put on.
Right. So the answer is that I did
a lot of research
reading on it, is that because it's so early, like it's early enough in the season, you want to pinch those flowers off to allow for the plant to grow and establish roots, especially a determinate variety, because if you don't let those roots establish properly, then you won't get...
It's not going to be able to pick up the nutrient it needs in order to fulfill the requirement. You're going to
get kind of sad tomatoes, not like those nice, thick, weighty Roma tomatoes, which is what he's going for. I spoke with him, and he wants to make pasta sauce. So you want those nice, like, thick Romas.
Well, and if you pinch the flowers off, it's not going to set the plant back. The plant's just going to go, okay, I got to grow some more, and then it'll do another cycle, and it'll be fine.
There's a reason why those plants are flowering. They might feel that they need to. So pinching those flowers off and allowing the roots to establish is going to be good for the plant.
All right. Why is my cucumber plants only producing female flowers and no male flowers I see in sight? Well, there are certain varieties that only produce female flowers. They're self-pollinating. So maybe you've got that. I don't have a whole lot of information in regards to the addition in the follow-up on this. Also, there could have been where the male flowers were there, they fell off, and the female flowers did what it needed to do. The female flowers have the little fruit behind the flower. So there is varieties that are self-pollinating that a lot of the greenhouses use as well. So that could be part of the deal. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I have beautiful beet tops, but not much on the bottom. What do I do?
You want to thin them out. So if you planted beet seeds have this seed, it's like a seed pod, not a seed pod.
Cluster.
Seed cluster, thank you. Where there's several seeds in one seed cluster. So as those seeds start to bloom, you want to look at each grouping, the grouping of the tops, and then just trim back everything but one, and that will allow the beets to grow properly.
Now, if you have done that and you are seeing that you don't have good beet root, there's a couple of situational issues here. Hydration, if it doesn't get enough water, it's not going to develop a bulb. If there's not enough nutrients in the soil, if you got poor soil, if you got clay soil, if you got rocky soil, those are all contributing factors of why the beetroot is not developing. Climate conditions. Was it too cold when the seed was planted? Is it too hot now? So there's multiple variations of why this may be occurring, and you have to wean it down to, okay, here are the factors in which I believe the conditions are affecting my beets. How can I get rid of fungal gnats in my raised beds? They are everywhere. The raised beds are in the greenhouse.
All right, so you want to spray the dirt with permethrin.
Yes.
It's an insecticide. It's safe for pests when used correctly.
It's safe for pets.
Pets. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
pets.
Yeah. Also, if used correctly, it will. It is safe for humans as well. People will use that and soak their clothing or spray their clothing down, and that is a repellent for the tick as well. So.
Yeah, I think is it from the chrysanthemum?
I believe so. It is a flower-based derivative of that. So my cucumbers have been thriving, but now I'm not sure what's going on. The heat, the sun, they're all wilted. During the day, I water in the evening. I'm in Texas. They are very wilted and unsure of what's going on. They may have been, the heat may have had their way with them. Well, squashes, cucumbers, plants with large leaves, even corn, sweet corn, they will curl or wilt during the day to reduce surface area. And then in the evening, if everything is correct, they will firm back up or unroll their leaves. This is a common deal, not a big thing. You want to make sure the soil is moist and hydrated, whether irrigation or watering. If you're watering, you're going to have to double or triple what you think you need to put on that at the base of that plant. Also, being in certain areas of the country, Texas being one of them, you can also look at the option of shade cloth. They come in many percentiles from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, 50, 60, 70%, and you can put that over the plant in order to reduce some of the intensity of sunlight coming and hitting your plant and taking some of that stress away from the plant so it can focus on production. Well, we are out of time, and we thank you for yours. Miss any portion of the program today or would like to revisit it? Hey, you can do that by going to your favorite search engine and typing in the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show and searching current show and past shows, all 9.5 seasons. You can also send us an email, and we'll get you the show in return there. Tune in to the program next week where we will be talking about weaker soil over the years equal weaker plants, as well as landscaping rock options. There's a lot out there. We're going to simplify it for you, as well as the owner of Azert Standard, a sponsor of the program, David Stiltzer, will be with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.